Welcome to my new space. It is quite the mess at the moment, but I'll get that cleaned up at some point in time. It's a functional space, so that's all that's important. Closed on the place July 1st, and first thing I had done was called Epoxy Systems. They came by and epoxied the floor. It's fantastic. I love it. And this wall, all the purple sheetrock's new. I put that in. It was just bare studs, no insulation. But before I did that, I wanted to swap out my load center here. This is a 200 amp panel, but my off the street's only 100 amps. But the old panel was full. There wasn't any room to add any more circuits. But I needed to add at least two here in the garage. The original garage circuit was tied to the family room, so if I plugged anything in here and tripped the 15 amp circuit, it would also kill everything in the family room. So the internet, Wi-Fi, TV, all that stuff would go down. My garage power tools all can draw more than 15 amps. So that was one of the first things I had to do was pull two new circuits over through the ceiling here. Unfortunately, all the joists run this in the direction, and my leads have to come this direction. So I end up cutting holes and pulling my wires through. There's a couple electrical boxes up there that I needed access to, so that's what the stairs are for. And I've got 220 30 amp service, both here and over by the door end for plasma cutter and the welder, just in case I needed to weld something out in the driveway that the leads wouldn't reach from back here. And 20 amp service, 110 for everything else. That was fantastic to get that in, because once I got that in and going, then I could start using my welders. Got my TIG, got my MIG right here. I do want to add circuits to the other side of the garage, so I can kind of do the same thing. I can have a 220 outlet either at the back of the garage and at the front, maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but since this wall is all closed up and already finished, it's going to require quite a bit more cutting into the sheetrock to run those circuits, and I'm not entirely sure I want to do that anymore, although having power on this side of the garage would be pretty awesome. I could run conduit, but I'm not a big fan of conduit. It looks kind of crap, in my opinion, so I'd prefer to bury it. I might put a 50 amp circuit below the box here on this wall for EV charging, or another welder outlet. Temporary wheel rack. These are, I'm going to build a proper rack and mount them to the wall and get them up and out of the way here. I don't know if they're going to end up over here or up high over here or over here, but once this all gets painted and finished, then I'll be able to figure out where everything's going to live. At the moment, nothing really has a home. It's just some place that's out of the way enough that makes the space functional, and yet I can still use the things that need to be used. Like the compressor isn't going to live there, but that's where it is now. Like, and my welders here, I'm not entirely keen on having them next to the open vents to the outside. I might move that space to this other side of the garage, but I'm not entirely sure how it all is going to come together. Slightly disappointing thing is that the floor is only 2.5 to 3 inches thick, and it's not high strength concrete, so I can't anchor my lifts down. That's kind of a little bit of an issue, but I can get on without them. Having lifts in the garage is super awesome and amazing and wonderful, and I can't express enough how awesome it is to have them here. But you know, just back to jacks and jack stands for the moment to get things done until I can have new footers cut and poured, take the weight. These are my 3 garage residents: my 87 Chrysler Conquest, rally car, and 85 MR2. But yeah, this is the space. It functions for the moment. It's still quite a mess, but one of these days, as time progresses and as things get finished and cleaned up, it'll become more little bit more organized. But this is where all the magic's going to happen. Yay!